what? It wasn't really a big deal. I think it was just the gauge being out of calibration because it will do that every now and then. And yeah, because like when I pulled over finally, because I pulled over at a gas station and ran it for about 2 minutes, then shut it off, and then I topped up the power steering fluid. And when I turned it back on, hey, look at that! It's nice and cool again, right? So that's how my day started. Like, you know, I was only riding on like 2 hours of sleep too. On my way back actually from the show, I had to pull into another gas station and just park up and rest my eyes for like half hour because yeah, it was like super very, very tiring. So yeah, but I will say though, because like I was going down the highway and I was kind of doing the slow thing, so I'm like, yeah, okay, no, I need to sorry about that, but yeah, although something when I was at the show, because I went to show you ride for Brandon with the Dark Horses Mustang Club. Now the Dark Horses guys are great, honestly. I get along with them quite well, and yeah, we were chatting the entire time. And what's going on here? Is that RV getting towed? We're going very, very slowly if it is. Like maybe 70 kilometers an hour. What is going on here? There we go. Just past that. That's exactly what it is. So it's a semi-tow truck that is towing a not a full-on RV. It looks like the camper trailer. It's kind of odd, but whatever. There we go. Sorry, I keep losing connection here. This highway can be bad for that. But like I was saying, is it like Show Ride for Brandon this year was a little scattered all over the place. Oh, thanks. Thanks, guys. Sorry, for some reason I did not see your guys' comments before. That's so weird. There we go. Now I can see them. Yeah, so Vino and Ryan. Okay, cool. Yeah, so but like Show You Ride for Brandon this year, like I mentioned, was a little seemed to be disorganized. Having it at McMahon Stadium instead of the Stampede grounds, the lots are kind of scattered all over the place, and instead of there being organization of, hey, let's fill up this lot first and then move on to here and then move on to here, whatever else, they just let people do what they wanted. So people were scattered everywhere, and you know, it just wasn't well thought out that way. But still a good time, whatever else. And oh, check out that gorgeous view. I absolutely love Sundre for that. You know, top of the hill, and you just overlook and you see the sun with the clouds and the mountains there. Oh, it is just beautiful, right? But actually, while I was Jesus, there we go. While I was at the show, I was starting to have some major health issues. And like, because I was trying to just clean the car a bit. Like, I wasn't doing a full detail or anything of the car, but I was just trying to get it to look a little cleaner. Like, it was still quite dirty. It's still quite dirty, I should say. But you know what? It's fine. My heart rate decided to go shoot way up. So did my blood pressure. And then I was having very bad palpitations. My heart rate was at 140, and then it dropped all the way to 60, and then to 40, and then back up to 80, and then down to 50, and then up to 70, and oh my god, that was just dreadful. Like, I don't ever want to experience that again. Because, yeah, like, and that was similar sort of symptoms of just, basically collapsing, and you're lucky I was turning here, buddy, because, yeah, I was braking anyways. And it's, yeah, just one of those deals. Okay, good, I did grab my cards, just double checking, because I went to UFA for gas, which is the first time I've ever done that, not too long ago, which... Okay, that is being truthful. 34 kilometers, that's about right. Yeah, and it sounds like my power steering pump's getting low again. But, I'm just rolling up to the house now. But yeah, like I mentioned, my heart rate shot up and then dropped dramatically. And yeah, it's not good. But I am finally home. Yay. Been a long day. I'm only riding off of like 2.5 hours of sleep. And, it took a lot out of me to do today. And with the health stuff and whatever else that happened today. Because every time I tried to clean the car, I started to get lightheaded and started to stumble a bit. So that's a concern. If I can't even clean my car, like how am I supposed to do really anything else? So there's that. Yeah, it is just very, very concerning with my health the way it's been. And I don't know where to go from here, to be honest, when it comes to that. Because, well, yeah, it's one of those things. But you can tell I got quite sunburnt today, so I'll have to put on some, I think I've got some aloe vera in the house. I was pretty sure I have aloe vera in the house. Yeah, sorry, I'm brain fog. But I'm glad I went though, even though it was disorganized, whatever, and or at least seemed to be. And then the one thing is that's kind of annoying about Show You Ride for Brandon, to be honest. Amazing show, whatever else, and the people that run it seem to be pretty good and all that stuff. But Kim Thomas, who is Kim is one of the family members, I think either sister or mother of Brandon. I can't remember for sure. Regardless, family member that way. And every year her truck wins an award there, which is it and it's one of the best in show awards, which doesn't seem right, to have that sort of just full out bias towards the person who is running the thing or one of the people that are running it anyways. You know what I mean? If they won it one year, okay, cool, but then let somebody else have it and so on and so forth. And I think that there should be a sort of rule that way with that car show, that if you won that award the previous year, you cannot win it the next year. That's something they should implement, and I think that they should do, with all their awards, they should do more. And what I mean by that is, they had some stuff best classic pre-1980, but they didn't have, best, 80, they should have, instead of doing best classic before 1980, they should have went, honestly, just best 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s and even 90s, I think, would have been great categories. And there were quite a few options for either of those. Like even the 50s. I mean, there was a Tri 5. Actually, it was a 55 Chevy that had a big blower on it, and it was a straight up gasser. Like it was pretty cool. Not super jacked up like the most gassers are, but you know it had that gasser style to it. It was clean. Had a little roll bar just for the driver, and it was a bench seat car too, so that's a little interesting. You know, floor shift and stuff like that. Just really, really neat. There we go. But yeah, still though, it was a good time though. I just there's some stuff they could definitely improve upon. Which I mean, I do want to I do want to potentially talk to them about that. Just you know, just to raise a little bit of concerns and give them a little bit of you know, maybe see if they see this stuff like that or whatever, right? Because yeah, it's just one of those deals that. And yes, I'm drinking a Coke. Any of y'all that hate on me for it, I don't care. I drank a crap ton of water today. I drank quite a few Powerades. Like I think I had like 4 or 5 while I was there. See, and that could work well too. Honestly, something like that, I would like that. But, you know, however, will they do that? I doubt it. I like that idea though. You know, and honestly, like, I would be open to being a judge for something like that. You know, say, you know, best 80s or whatever, because I actually know 80s cars quite well. And I like some of the oddball stuff. And sorry, you guys are on pizza boxes at the moment, so I can still see the chat and everything, but you'll just have to bear with me. You'll see the sky and stuff and ceiling when I get inside and all that jazz. But, yeah. Sorry, I'm really tired. Just been an all-day affair. Like, I got up at like 4 a.m. for this. And while I did enjoy myself, I kind of wish I didn't get up that early and I just went later. You know, like get up at like 8 and then get there for like 9:30 would have been so much better instead of get there for freaking 7. Actually, no, we were there for 7:30. That's what it was. Hi, boys. I know I've been gone all day, hey, buds? Yo, you can see me again. I know I'm a little discombobulated, but that's okay. Okay, just put that there, whatever, I don't care. I'll just do that, sure. Okay. Now, set up my phone right here. And then... Hi, Saber. Oh. There we go. Set that up. Perfect. Oh, God. Yeah, wow, how sunburnt I am. It's crazy. But I don't think it wasn't even that hot. Like, it was, what? I think it got to, like, 24 degrees. So, really not that bad, but... You know... Whew. Yeah. And that's the one thing, like, when I drive the car and everything, my heart rate shoots up. Like, it just hit 114, and it's staying around that mark, you know, and dropping back down to around 100 and stuff like that, so, just jumping all over the place, but not, like, drastic, jumps, so that's good. Because, yeah, like, earlier with that was awful. And, yeah, like, I had to take about a half-hour break of just sitting in my car and just trying to relax so that I could bring my heart rate down and stop the palpitations that I was having. And that was dangerous, like, very dangerous, to be honest, situation that I was in at that point. But, you know, I'm safe now. I'm good, so don't recommend. Yeah, just don't recommend. But, yeah, it was kind of nice, though, because I got to meet a few people that I hadn't before. There was a couple fans of mine that were about, and that was cool, too. You know, just, and even a guy that I've talked to on TikTok for a little bit. We haven't talked too much, but we've talked a little bit. He was actually at the show, and he saw my car and started messaging me on TikTok, being like, "Hey, I see your car." And then I told him, "Well, hey, I'm over here right now," and he just could not see me, even though pink shirt, very easy to spot. Plus, I'm tall, right? So. And he just could not spot me, even though I was telling him exactly where I was. And then I finally found him. But, you know, we chatted for about 10 or 15 minutes. That was cool. Yeah, and then I hung out with my buddy Cody for most of the day. I did do my own thing for a bit, but I ended up just circling back to the Dark Horses for a while. And I was hoping to run into a couple of the girls from No Boys Allowed that were going to go, but I don't think I saw them. So I'm not sure where they were. But, yeah, however, it was a pretty decent show, though. Pretty decent show. Right, don't eat me, sir. People are friends, not food. There we go. Holy smokes, we have 7 viewers. Welcome! Welcome to Cat Sunburnt Emporium. All joking aside, yeah. Sorry. My brain is just mush. But that's what happens when you get 2 hours of sleep. 2.5 hours, whatever it was. I don't know, because I got up at 4:40. I left here just after 5:30. And what's funny, though, is, okay, most of the people that are in the Dark Horses Mustang Club that actually went there are either from Calgary or they're in, like, Airdrie or something like that. They're within, you know, half-hour tops of that place. And I had to drive over an hour to get there, and I was still the first one there. Now, not by much. There was somebody else that came in just in behind me. They were about a minute or two behind me, but I do find it funny that when I go to these meets and shows and whatever, that I tend to be the first one there, even though I've driven the furthest distance. But, yeah. It was nice to get to my car and do another show again. Might be one of the last ones before the end of the season. But I will mention there's going to be a couple of videos coming out on my channel here. One is checking out the new Capri, you know, doing all that, right? The second one is actually showing the differences between a Mercury Capri, like a Fox body Mercury Capri, and a Fox body Mustang, right? So it is kind of cool, and just showing the differences, which a lot of them you can see outright, but then there's some stuff that you might not recognize that is one of those things. Actually, something that I discovered because Keith got the Capri insurance, so he sent the insurance to me, and so I'll print that off and so that it's legal. And then he's gonna get it registered like tomorrow. The only thing is though is when he gets it registered, like I don't know if he's going to contact the registry here in town so I can grab the plate from them to put on the car or what, because I don't know. But I will say though that the Capri does have new wheels on it. I did change out a couple of the headlights, which, fun fact, those headlights were the original headlights from 1981. And you might you be wondering, well, how do I know that they were the original headlights? And it's due to the fact that that now, I don't know if this is all 4i Fox bodies, because bear in mind, this is the only one that I've seen that has the original lights in it. But from the factory, for some weird reason, and I don't know exactly what years they did it, obviously in 81 they did, but I don't know if they did it right up until 86, or if they changed, or whatever else, but regardless, you have two different styles of lights, and like, yeah, there is the 1A and the 2A lights, and it basically means high beam, low beam, right? But it's actually two different companies that make them, which, you know, you don't do that now, but back then, the high beams were actually produced by General Electric, while the low beams were done by Sylvania. So that is a cool little fact for you. If you see when all the lights are like that, you know, the high beams are GE, the low beams are Sylvania, chances are those are the original headlights, which is kind of neat. And like, the one thing is, so two of the headlights work, the other two didn't, and now, I mean, I've gotten them to work because I replaced them with just headlights I had lying around. I do have some hatch struts coming in for it, even though I actually got the struts to work on that car, but they're not like perfect. Because the one thing is, when you open and close a hatch, it should, as soon as you open it, it should just open up for you, right? Like, as soon as you crack that and then just do that initial lift, it should lift the rest of the way. Well, this one doesn't. It's just like the Civic that way, which the Civic does need new hatch struts as well, but it'll still hold the hatch up just fine. However, it's only a matter of time before that thing comes down, right? And or if they start to lose their pressure, and you know. So yeah, although I do find it fascinating though that when we got that opened, which I didn't know this about those, but if the hatch key is wore out enough, or at least the actual lock cylinder, yeah, you can actually open the hatches very simply. I'm kind of surprised about that. And like, the thing is, this Capri did not come with keys, right? No keys to be had. So when we bought it, the owner actually rigged up the ignition so that you could just turn it without a key, and it would fire up, right? And then you could drive it. Well, something I did, and I can't believe I did this, to be honest. When we got to Olds, I just had to take a break after driving it on Wednesday, and I accidentally turned the key all the way back and like did the key return thing back, and I couldn't flick it back on again. So it's just like, oh crap! And it was just like a lapse of judgment at that point. It was like, crap, we don't have a way to like tow this thing if we need to. Son of a beach. And turns out my convertible key fits that ignition, so no issues there, right? So that'll be good. You know, I'll just have to make a like, and luckily I had my convertible keys on me, and I'll just have to make a key for him off of my key. So that should be cool. It should work out. Now, and I do need to check if a new key will actually fit, or if it's only my old wore-out key, which, because they're the original keys to the car, I don't really want to get rid of those keys, you know. I don't really like the look of new keys. I like the patina of the keys, right? And it's a visual thing more than anything, but... Although, I do like the, because, yeah, the doors... We don't have, you know, keys for the doors, but yet the trunk you can open with, or the hatch you can open with just about any key. You just basically put it in a quarter way and then you turn it, right? And it works very well, actually. It opens it every single time. So, yeah. And that's not every Fox body out there. Like, the trunk on Stitch won't do that. The trunk on Lilo won't do that. But this hatch will. So it's kind of interesting. So, like, technically, if I decided to drive it anywhere, I could lock the doors and just climb in through the hatch and unlock it that way. But I have no intention of doing it that way, though. Because it's a little convoluted. Funny, though, but convoluted. But... yeah, it is, it's one of those things. Hello there, Brian. Brian Thorough. Okay, there we go. Oh, God, I'm tired. Very tired. And actually, I should... There we go. Just turning the brightness a little bit on my phone. Yeah. I don't really know what else to say, though, other than that. Oh! Actually, something. The Civic is going to be one step closer to being on the road, because my dad finally decided to bite the bullet and get a new sending unit for the Civic. So... once I have that, and I figured out potentially a way to get rid of all of the rust in the Civic gas tank, while actually, you know, so we can put it back in the car, and going from there. Because I had the thought of, like, wait, why don't I just use a bunch of CLR? Which, hopefully my dad has picked up, and then he's not going to be back for a few days, but, like, I'm alone until, I think, Wednesday or Thursday. So, yeah, he's just at my, at Kelly's cabin, which Kelly is his best friend. They've been really good friends for better part of 30 years. You know, and, yeah. It's cool that way. And, you know, I'd be there, but I'm obviously not. Somebody needs to take care of the cats, so. Plus, I've got other things I need to take care of while I'm here, too. Because there's the stuff with the Capri and whatever else, because, again, not my car. But, yeah. Jeez. But yeah, like, I had massive freaking palpitations with the heart and stuff like that today, so that's not good. That's actually kind of scary. Like, I wasn't scared or anything, but I was a little worried that, am I going to have to go to the hospital? You know, that thought crossed my mind of, like, having to call an ambulance while I show you ride for Brandon, which that would have been interesting, to say the least. But luckily, I didn't have to, and we were all good. And no bad things happened that way. But, yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to think of what else to talk about, because I've basically talked about everything at this point. Because, yeah, like I said, there's going to be 2 videos coming up very soon on the Capri. There is eventually going to be just a road trip video with the Capri because that's the one thing. I already know I can road trip, but will it be able to do the full 2.5 hour or slash 3 hour journey to Keith's place? We shall find out because yeah, and it'll just be me. So I do have to be weary of my health limitations and whatnot when doing so. But it should make a pretty fun video whenever else, and you know, just yeah. And actually, Roy Marco right now, he is actually on the Great Beater Challenge with his Hudson Hornet. He sent me a really cool picture of it, just all dirty at a gas pump, and it's like, oh man, that is so cool. Because it's a car that you never see like super dirty like that, and you never really see Hudson Hornets anyways. Um, Now I just want to see like, is anybody actually typing in the chat right now, or it just kind of dead? Because I'm not sure if my chat is working 100% or not. And holy crap, we're up to 8 viewers. We were at 10 just a second ago, but you know, we dropped back down again. That's good. I mean, 8 viewers, that's fantastic. But I do just want to ask if anybody's in the chat. Has anybody been typing, or has it just, you know, been those 3 or 4 messages that went in before? From Vino, Brian, Vino, and a different Brian. Oh, God. I am just tired. Okay, so there is Vino still in the chat and stuff like that. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, because so it's potentially exciting, you know, that the Civic might be on the road soon. The only thing is, though, is it's gonna take a minute to get the sending unit here because it's coming through DHL and it's coming from Taiwan. So yeah, it's probably gonna be a few weeks out, I'm sure. I can't imagine it being quick, but maybe it is. Who knows? And you know what? It was like my dad paid it, you know, paid for it. So yeah, just through PayPal. Went through my PayPal, but he gave me the money for it. So I'm very excited to potentially drive that Civic. Who knows? Fairly soon-ish, maybe. And yeah, because there's still other issues with the car, but that's okay. Hey, howdy from Central Alberta, and the Dodge Whisperer. I don't think I've seen you on my channel before. Absolutely love that name. I love that. You know, because I love Mopars. Even though I drive Fox bodies, but Mopars are something that I really like the most. It's just a lot of Mopars are too expensive. So that's why I drive the Fox bodies, right? And because yeah, like when I went to go buy my Mustang, my 81, actually I wasn't looking at a Mopar at the time, but there was a few different prospects of vehicles. Like one of them happened to be a Volare with a slant 6, but Buddy blew up the slant 6 in it, so I didn't buy that. It was a 1980 Volare. Then there was the 79 Mercury Cougar that I could have bought, but I ended up, of course, buying my 81 Mustang. That same day, oddly enough, I was checking out this Mustang first because it was along the way, and then I was going to go check out this Cougar right after, but I ended up just buying the Mustang instead, which, you know, like, it would have been interesting to see what I could have done with that Cougar, but my channel wouldn't be where it is without that major project of a car that was my Mustang. So, and now, like, I may have potentially found a bell housing for the car. Because there is a guy selling a out of a '66 Mustang. It's a 200 inline six with a 4-speed manual. And now, like I don't have the money for it, but I don't know. Maybe I can convince people of stuff, and then we can try and do the T5 swap in Stitch. Because to be honest, I want Stitch to be the manual more than the convertible, like with Lilo. It's just it's one of those things. Everybody wants to see the convertible manual, which I might do in the future, but the manual, like, or at least the convertible, is a cruiser, right? I am gonna race it whenever else, yes, of course, but I still want it as a cruiser. And now something that I am considering is just swapping it to an AOD so I get that overdrive on the highway. Because I mean, it gets decent gas mileage, not amazing. I get like 23, 24 miles to the gallon, nothing special. But see me. But yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Because, you know, if I have that bell housing, there will have to be some modifications done to it, but we can pull that off, I'm sure. And if I can't, I think I have connections that could. So, yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we'll see about getting that motor in tranny, and then I don't know what I'd do with the motor. I have no interest in keeping that. Fair enough. I mean, yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you in the comments. So, you know what? I do appreciate your support, though, and everything. And, you know what? If you ever get the chance to buy a Fox body, do it. They are so worth the money. Like, especially if you can find the cheaper ones. Because, like, yeah, I find cheap Fox bodies all the time. You know, people are, like, trying to say that Fox bodies are so expensive when you're just not looking at the right one. You're looking at the completely done cars that you see at the auction that are selling for stupid money because idiots thinking that these cars are worth like that much when they're not. Like, cause I bought my '81 Mustang back in 2019 for only $500. Right now, it barely ran. The interior was mostly disassembled. It didn't have a carpet, didn't have a headliner, you know, and had sat for 10 years, and it needed an out-of-province inspection, which I actually didn't know that when I bought it, but that's okay. You know, and it had a little bit of electrical issues, not too bad though. I figured that out after a bit of tinkering, but yeah. Oh yeah, like Fox bodies make great drag cars. They make great track cars too, for that matter. Because the one thing is with the Fox bodies is that they're light and they have a short wheelbase, so it makes it very good to throw around and to race and all that jazz, right? Because like my '81 has a 296 in it. That thing weighs 2,680 pounds. I've had it on scales to show that weight. So yeah, it's pretty neat. And like my convertible, I don't know what my convertible weighs. I don't know. Maybe I should text Paul to see if I can go out there one of these days and weigh the convertible. But I have to take everything out of the trunk before I do. But that's not too bad. There's not a lot of stuff in there. Yeah, so I can get an accurate reading that way of how much it weighs, because there's like the toolbox in the trunk, and there's a couple of funnels, and there's the power steering fluid and whatever else in there. So, but my guess is that thing is probably around 3,200 pounds, 31, something like that, because again, convertible. So Um, the convertibles add a lot of weight. They add approximately 400 pounds to the regular Fox body. And the one thing is, in '86, I believe a hatchback weighed about 28 or 2,900 pounds. So yeah, and like the notchback was your lightest. Your 4-cylinder notchbacks were the lightest ever produced for the Mustangs. I believe the Fox, like a '79 Mustang 4-cylinder, uh, 4-speed, I believe is actually the lightest Mustang ever produced. I think it's 2,640 pounds. So, oh, nice. Yeah, those 5.0s, especially the later ones, fantastic engines. They make quite a decent amount of power, and like really is a good little thing. Now, something that's cool actually. Not I did not actually film the dyno, but my friend actually BCM Productions or Creations. It's my buddy Cody, so I don't remember his exact YouTube username, but he actually threw. They had a mobile dyno out at Show You Ride for Brandon, and he put his 2-valve Mustang on there, which the 2-valve is just your standard like New Edge or SN95 4.6 single overhead cam, and he made 202 wheel horsepower and like 206 torque, I think it was. So that's pretty good. I'm actually I figured it was going to be about that, like, because he's like, he was thinking it was going to hit low at like 160 horse or whatever. And my guess was 195. So the fact that it hit 202, I was pretty close. Just what he was telling me, because like, has no catalytic converters in it, has a different exhaust on it, and has a better intake on it. So, that equates to roughly 20, 30-ish horsepower. And yeah. So, because I was just adding it up in my head, whatever else, and he said, yeah, but the motor is tired or whatever, 260,000 kilometers. But like, he says tired, but yet the thing doesn't smoke. So it's not really that tired because, like, Lilo, oh yeah, she will smoke if you are hard on the gas. Like when you start to get up in the RPMs, it'll smoke a little, and that's just indicative of a motor that's a tad bit tired, right? And it's not like it's bad or anything. Like it's still a healthy motor, but it's just not at its optimal running anymore. Which now I throw heads and a cam on it, that might change it. That might actually make it so much better. We'll see, because who knows? It might just be that the valve seals and whatever else are just, and the valve clearances or whatever just aren't quite what they used to be anymore. And we have zero clue how much mileage this 302 has, because the T-Bird that it came out of, the odometer broke, and when he bought it, like, it was so unknown. That motor could have 500,000 kilometers on it for all I know. But it runs good. It starts every time, and doesn't really give me any issues. Like it, I could drive that thing across country and, not really have to worry about it too much. So that's what I like with my cars that way. Because like either car, I could just jump in and go. Although Stitch right now isn't the greatest because of the tires, but I'll get those fenders rolled. I still need to do that. Just haven't done it. But, that's fine. So does anybody have any questions for me? Anything automotive related or just in general? Because I am willing to answer just about anything as long as it's not too stupid or, you know. I shouldn't say that. Like, that isn't just sexual or anything like that stupid, I should say. Because, yeah. And, like, because I did put out actually a video, I think it was my last video, of how to find the cheapest fox bodies. Because there are fox bodies that are very expensive. But there's also a lot of fox bodies that are actually pretty cheap. And your early fox bodies tend to be the cheapest. They're also the lightest, which, because there are people that prefer the arrows. I prefer the 4Eyes, and I prefer the early 4Eyes as well over the later 4Eyes. But even though I have the earliest iteration of the 4Eye and the latest iteration of the 4Eye, being an 81 and an 86. So, yeah. But, and the reason why that they don't really have as much value compared to the later ones is the motors didn't make near as much power. People don't really like to, or at least some people don't like to mess around with carburetors or anything like that. Because, yeah, I do have to consider when I take any of my cars out of elevation change, because it does affect both the cars and how they run. Like, for example, and I can physically feel it in my cars, that my cars make more power in Edmonton and they run better than they do here in Sundre. And that's just, again, they're closer to sea level by about like 300 meters compared to here. It's like 1145 meters, I think, that we are above sea level, and Edmonton's at 845, I think it is. So it is a considerable difference, and that's about 400 or 500 feet. Actually, I think, yeah, it's about that, give or take. But it's cool though. Um, and yeah, like, and I love the old cars and whatever else, and like dealing with carburetors is totally fine with me. I don't have an issue with them. There are other people that just don't know what they're doing with a carburetor, and like, I am not an expert when it comes to carbs. Absolutely not. But I have enough experience to where I can basically get a carburetor down the road. So there's that. But yeah. You know what? I'm going off 50 minutes. I'm tired. I think I'm just gonna let y'all go. So I definitely appreciate y'all sticking around to the end, though. Those of you that did. Um, yeah, go out, work on those cars, drive those cars, and just have fun. Um, I love you all. Thank you all so much, and take care. And I'll catch you next time.